Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here for another event video here on Marvel Strike Force. Are you ready to start collecting shards for GORR the God Butcher? Because we have the brand new September 3-week long, it's not a full month, but 3-week long schedule with the main event, Sentinels Assemble, starting on Monday at 2 p.m. So we're going to be covering all of this. We're going to be talking about everything that you need to do to maximize this milestone. And we're also going to be talking about the Dark Future event, which is the Alliance milestone. It's kind of a bit of a regurgitation of the current Tolerance's Extinction one, but they kind of raised the bar and they kind of push back some of the milestones because they don't want people to get rewards as easily. And this one's going to be repeating essentially for 3 weeks. So we'll cover this in the beginning as well. So if you're ready to go, everybody, let's boil this down. So, that's not where I wanted to start. So I wanted to start here. So this one's actually the Dark Future event, as I was talking about. This is the Alliance. It's essentially a regurgitation of the Tolerance's Extinction event. Like I said, you're going to be getting some more Sentinel Factory orbs. I think it's the same 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Maybe it's less. Wasn't there 14 on the other one? There's 12. It looks like there's 12. So 12 more shards of Sentinel, right? It's that slow drip, super slow drip. Maybe there's going to be some other ways to get these. But 12 shards from this event, which is another 5-day Alliance-wide event. Now, it's pretty much identical. However, the milestones have changed because previously it was 1 million to hit milestone 20 here, and now it's 1.2 million. So they've kind of pushed the bar back a little bit. As far as I'm aware, now if you go through the blog here, it kind of said earn more points from Orcus raid node rewards with bonus points for Orcus tech nodes. And it kind of sounds like they're giving additional points for Orcus tech. But, after looking at this again, I think the bonus points is just here at the bottom where you get additional points for using Sentinel and Nimrod. I don't think that they're actually adding extra points onto the tech. I think you're just, if you have these characters, you're getting bonus points on top of that. Otherwise, it would be like a double bonus. The one thing that I think is funny, though, is that Nimrod is not released to the public until Thursday, I think, or Wednesday, Thursday. And so you're actually only going to get 2 days to use Nimrod in this event where, you're not even starting with them, right? You will have Sentinel if you have them unlocked anyways. But I mean, Nimrod, it just seems silly that they're doing it this way. But anyways, you can see the point difference there, and it's going to be a little bit harder to get some of these later milestones. And I just wanted to do a recap of the kind of point calculations from Tolerance's Extinction. This top part is basically if you're running Omega. And so if you're looking to get over 1 million points, I know most people are not going to do this, but you essentially need to max out D2 or do quite well in D3 to have a good chance of getting 1 million or more points. To give you an example, and I'll show you where I'm at. I'm recording this on late Saturday night. I'll show you where my alliance is at for Tolerance's Extinction. We're doing heavy D2. No, we're doing like D2 at like 60%, 60, 70%. And this is what we're able to get here. We might, I hope we might get this milestone 19 because this is probably the last chance we're ever going to get for this 500,000 ions because they've kind of pushed back, the milestone where that one is 1.05 million. And I don't think my alliance is going to have a chance of getting this after that. That's why they're kind of moving the goalpost on this one, which kind of sucks. But this table here, I've shown this before. I will post it in my Discord server as well. You probably have already seen it from last week. This total here includes the lane bosses. Some people got confused by the way that I calculated the numbers because it does look a bit weird. These are just the base node points. And then in the grand total, that's where I added the additional bonus points for the particular lane bosses. So you can kind of see how this scales from D0, D1, but there's a huge jump at D2. So you're going to get a lot of milestone points at D2. Less so at the other difficulties. So mileage will vary here, of course. And the Sentinel Factory orbs where you want to kind of get to for this, I guess, is 530k. So this is quite challenging on D0, which means that unless you're doing like close to 100%, you're probably not going to get D0 unless you've moved into the D1 category. So just keep in mind on that one. And let's talk about the Sentinels Assemble event. But first, let's talk about the GORR shards that you're going to be getting. In this, you're going to be getting about 100 GORR shards total all the way through. So, it really depends on how many shards you've collected at this point in time, whether you've actually spent some power cores on GORR, that'll depend on, how early you unlock him or not, or if this is just extra shards if you've already cored for him. So just keep that in mind there. You can check that out online. This is, however, the Sentinels Assemble event, which does have a leaderboard event. And if you've been listening to me for the last little while, then maybe you'd have considered using your power cores or, just hoarding, whatever extra claims and stuff towards your campaign energy for this event because it is a leaderboard event, which is very important, especially for those who are chasing Odin. Now, if you're not chasing Odin, if you're not even that far yet, then I wouldn't be super concerned about this. But, for those of us who are kind of in that top, 1 to 3% kind of range, we typically want to do well on the leaderboard. So I've been making sure that I keep as much of this as possible going into that event. And let's take a look at some of the stuff that we're going to be getting in this, which is, honestly, it's just a lot of gold and it's not even a lot of gold actually. And then the currency, of course, right? There is some purple ions starting here at milestone 13 at 78,000. But not until then. And you will be able to get to some of these, but the thing is that we don't really know how much orb fragments that we're going to be farming, the Iron Legion orb fragments. We don't know per energy what this is going to be, but I'm going to speculate what I think that is. Usually I've been pretty spot on with my assessments on that one. And then you're going to get some additional points by using blitzing with Annihilate. It's not much. This is super easy, like two or three times that you're going to have to blitz with these characters. And, it's not going to be a very intensive event. So let's just get started talking about that. So we have the Sentinels Assemble event. It's a 7-day event. Campaign energy, blitzing with annihilators, and arena. The arena is to do with the web milestone. We'll take a look at that as well. Total milestone points is 300k, which includes whalestones, of course. The event item is at 78k, which is milestone 13. We don't know the free claims yet. Keep in mind that I do post these tables up on my Discord server after the event goes live so I can plug in the free claim stuff and so that we can calculate what the grand final total is. There is 34,000 points available on the web milestone. This includes 24k milestone points plus 10,000 orb fragments. I don't know. Actually, yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I think what's in the orbs this time around, I think I may have data mined it, but I don't think it was anything that important as far as the characters go. For this one, it might be some Illuminati characters. I don't think there's Annihilators in here, though. And then you also get 1,500 Thanos orb fragments on daily objectives in the arena now. So your daily claims, you get like, I don't know, 0.75 of an orb. Why they decided to do that, I have no idea. Maybe they did this in advance for this web milestone, because in order to clear the web milestone, which is here, you need to collect a total of 140,000 orb fragments, the Thanos orb fragments. Now, if you're in the top 10, you are going to get that over 7 days. If you're not, this might be a little bit challenging to get this final milestone. You might get it through the daily free claim, because like I said, there is 1,500. We also don't know what's in some of the other free claims, right? So 1,500 times 7, that's 10,500 that will go towards this, but whether or not that bridges the gap between milestone 9 and 10, depending on your ranking for arena, you may or may not get this. So do keep in mind that this extra 2,000 orb fragments you might not get. So that'll be disappointing for some people, I suppose. But moving on from that, again, 1-to-1 here on the Iron Legion orb fragments. We don't really know the ratio there. There's some extra points there. And if you happen to have any of these characters at 5 yellow or above, I actually do have a 5 yellow gladiator now. So I guess I'll get some extra 3,000 points towards that, which is, I suppose, helpful for the leaderboard. But otherwise, there's the bonus points there, which I'm not going to include in the grand total. 30,000 I will, however, and the campaign energy, which is going to be your grand total, typically daily. If you're doing 200 cores daily, you're going to come out with 1,100 campaign energy. Now, I've assessed that I think that this is going to be 4-to-1. If this is less than 4-to-1, it's not going to look very good, but I kind of just plugged in the numbers, what milestone I think that we're going to get for doing 4-to-1, and I think it looks pretty safe. So about 31,000 points doing it that way if you're doing 200 cores daily. I don't include things like hoarding and stuff like that because everyone's going to have a different amount of energy. You're obviously going to do better. But this is just if you're doing some coring on the day, or sorry, during the week, I suppose, for the event, that you'll get about 31,000 points through your campaign energy spending. So if we add the 31k plus the 30k plus the 34k, and we don't know what the free claims are yet, of course, that brings us to 95,000. Now, this is almost milestone 14 with the free claim. I think if we go back to E1. So actually, yeah, milestone 14 here at 98,000. Now, the reason that, and that's kind of why I think that we are going to be getting 4-to-1, because 14's not that far. Now, we've been screwed in the past, and like had really poor numbers and got to like milestone 13. But I kind of think that we might get to 14 because it's only one after the event item. As far as what you get out of that, it's not a lot. You get like 3 purple ISO orbs, and like that's it, really. I mean, like you'd have to kind of get to milestone 15 to get any reasonable amount of rewards, which is just 4 million gold. Actually, it's a pretty big jump, and that's why I don't think it's going to be any more than 4 to 1 because I don't think they want you to get this. I think that you would have to hoard to have gotten this. Now, basically, if it is 4 to 1, you'll have to have hoard like 5,000 campaign energy probably to get this, and there's 100,000 T3 level 1 ions as well, which is quite a lot, honestly. So I don't think that this is meant to be got free to play. I think that I mean, yes, I'm getting it free to play, but I've been hoarding quite consistently, and that's what you have to do if you want to get any further on that. But it is a leaderboard event, and I think that's pretty important. I didn't really cover that, but one thing that I want to share with you guys as well is the difference between this leaderboard and the old leaderboard for old enemies. So, for example, if you see here in the top, let's do 7,500, right? You get 18,000 T3, basically 9 orbs. You get 9 purple ISO orbs, and then 500,000 T3 L1 purple ions, right? And then I want to compare this with the old enemies chart. If you see down here for 5,000 to 7,500, you get 400. It's a bit cut off. 15,000 or 7.5 orbs and 400,000 ions. Now, we had the treats before, so we are getting a little bit less because you could actually convert the treats to a 1-to-1 ratio to ions. So this would be worth like 200,000 ions over here. So that'd be like 600,000 ions total. Whereas if you look at the leaderboard now, it's 500,000. So we are getting more than what we were in old enemies, but it's not with the treats, right? So the treats were still a better payout. So it's kind of making up a little bit, but not completely. So these are not going to be as good as the old leaderboards, but nonetheless, it's all we have now, right? So if you are trying to grind your way towards Odin, then you want to do as best as you possibly can for this event so that you can get more purple ISO and ion stuff towards getting your Odin race. That was bad English, but towards towards Odin, because it's going to be a race. And if you kept up with my data mines, you would know that there's also going to be an upcoming Red Star event milestone for Odin when Dark Dimension 8 launches. And honestly, I think that DD8 is probably just around the corner. So this is going to be really important. I think that we don't have very many leaderboards left before Odin launches. So what are the main notes? It's pretty simple. The main free-to-play input for this event is campaign energy and, by extension, power cores. Hopefully you guys had a chance to maybe watch my video on the weekend or on Saturday about power cores and how to manage your power core spending and things like that, because obviously the more that you put towards events, that is less that you're going to have for characters, and that's going to be a conscious decision that every player is going to have to make about what's kind of important for you in this game, whether it's to get more shards for early unlocks or whether it's for pushing these events. And honestly, I do think that if you're in those top 3% range of players, pushing events is still pretty important, and pushing these leaderboards are important as well. Like I said, if pushing for DD8/Odin is important to you, then this event and leaderboard should be too. Fortunately, the only way to get ahead on this event is to spend more energy, unless you're lucky and you have 5 yellow plus on any of these characters to give you some bonus points, which would inevitably be equivalent to some campaign energy. But other than that, yeah, I think that's about it. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. There's not much to like. It's pretty easy to get the points in this one. It's just it's going to come down to, I suppose, what the ratio for the campaign energy is going to be for this event. Hopefully it's 4 to 1. I think if it's honestly less, I don't think it will be anything less than that, because otherwise that makes it quite challenging to even get to the event item. And normally that's what they want to do in this game. So that's going to be it for this event video. Nothing super fancy. I will say, however, good luck on the next version, Dark Future or whatever, the Alliance one. We're going to be having that 3 weeks in a row. So I'm not really going to explain it in future videos, because it's going to be I assume it's going to be pretty much the exact same milestone. Maybe they'll push the bars back a little bit on the milestone. Who knows? But otherwise, it's the same event that we're going to have for Alliances for 3 weeks in a row. So good luck with that, and good luck with your Orcus raid rating. And if you're not doing that, well, I guess you might want to try and work your way up to there if at all possible over the next 3 weeks. Otherwise, that's going to be the end of this video, and thanks for watching, everybody. And of course, until next time, stay safe and healthy, and I will see you all later. Good luck and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Boilon, signing out.